All right, this thing doesn't look like anything yet, but we're gonna try to make it into an adorable little hand puppet. You're gonna need some scissors for sure, and then you're probably gonna need some tape as well, and you need, of course, your adorable printout that you got in your welcome packet. The first thing we're gonna do is just cut out this big box right here. Now, there are a couple fins hanging off of each side, and there are some feet at the bottom. This will work best if you cut around those, but that takes a lot of time and patience and detail, and I'm not that good of a cutter. So instead of doing that, I'm just gonna chop it off a straight box, and then I'll cut those out later and tape them on. So here we go. All right, so now I have all of my scrap pieces down here. I'll use those later, and then I've got my square right here. The first thing that we should probably do is fold these corners toward each other so we have some nice straight lines through the middle of it. So I'm gonna put those corners together and fold it like that, and then just go back and do the same exact thing over here. That's just gonna help make some lines on the paper so that my folding will be easier in the next steps. All right, so the first thing I gotta do is bring each of these corners into the middle. So this one here, you'll see on your paper there's kind of an intersection of those folds right there in the middle. We want to bring that first corner in right to that center point. And then do the exact same thing with all of the others. Bring all of those into the middle point. All lined up like that. So now we have a square. All right, let's do it again. So we're gonna flip this over. We're gonna bring all of the corners into that middle point. There we go. Now we're actually almost done here. We will need some tape right there and right there in a second, but first, let's open this thing up and see what it looks like. So if you flip it over on this side, there's 4 little pockets. One pocket right there, one pocket right there, one pocket right there, and one pocket right there. We want to turn those into their actual square pockets. So we're going to try to stick our fingers inside of there and turn each of those pockets. There we go. Now, this is Klopol. But there's a problem with Klopol. His head splits open. That's not good. So what we're going to do is take that tape and help his head splitting problem by rolling up a couple pieces of tape and putting them exactly where it says tape, right there. And then another one where it says tape, right there. And now we can tape his face together. There we go. Now it won't open up that way. It'll just open up that way. Now we're almost done here. There's a couple little details left. There is a white like semicircle over there and a white semicircle over there. If you cut those off, that will look more like Klopol's actual rounded head. There we go. That's a little bit better. So now he can talk, and he's got a nice little rounded head here. But of course, we did chop off his feet and his fins, and I kind of feel bad about that. Again, if you're a really good cutter, you could just cut around that when you're first doing it. It makes the folding a little bit more difficult. So maybe do one of these first by just chopping it off the way that I did it. And then later on, once you think you know how to do it, then you can go back and try the more difficult way. But for now, no problem, Klopol. So now I've got both of his fins. Right there and right there. Tape those guys on with a tiny piece of tape. Now he's got 2 fins. He's only missing his feet. All right, so now he's got his little fins there. He's got his feet. And if you know the story of Klopol, you know he also has his floaty. There we go. You got Penguin. You got his floaty. Great job. Way to go. You're awesome. I don't think that's how Klopol actually sounds. It's more like...